Y'all sitting on millions of dollars while your congregation struggling or the community around you struggling. The church is supposed to be for the people, not for your pockets. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Straight from the Go, man. I am your host, Dwayne, aka D from the Go, and we about to get straight to it, man. It's good to be back. It feel good to be back on the microphone, man. Uh, you know, I recorded my last episode. The last time I recorded was probably like a few, maybe a few weeks ago. Shoot, maybe longer than that. It's probably been closer to a month than anything, man. So I know the last time I was on here, man. As you can see, I'm in a different environment. You may not be able to tell, but I am in a different environment. I have officially moved back to the city of Chicago. It feels good to be back. I'm happy to be back. I feel different being back, man. And I'm sorry it took so long, man. But between moving and then, we moved here, then the holidays. Um, I had one of my homies. He was back from coaching for a little bit, so we was kicking it with him for a few days. And then, I just got my lights back. The lighting that so y'all can see me good, and waiting on that stuff. We just got that back, and then between that and then having a trip. Also, I just want to say, I don't know if I said it on the last episode, but Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and today is MLK Day, so happy. Well, it's not MLK Day, but it's Martin Luther King's birthday. So happy birthday to Martin Luther King, the legend, and um, yeah, it just feels good to be back. It feels good to be doing this again. I'm sorry. And then right after New Year's, I went on a birthday trip for one of my good friends. So we was out there for a few days, and then really I just been dealing with my grandmother just came home, and she been a little vulnerable with y'all. She been on bed rest. She had a stroke back in September. She was in the hospital with back and forth from the hospital to a rehabilitation center. So yeah, and now she's back home. We've been taking care of her and dealing with her schedule, and now that I got used to her schedule, now I can start recording again. I know it's been a long time coming. 16 days into the new year already, which is crazy. It felt like the new year was just the other day. Now we halfway through the month already. So get ready for another fast year. Before you know it, it's gonna be 2027. Yeah, man, everybody get their shit together. But happy New Year. Not quite the New Year no more. Not quite the holidays either, but it's crazy because the holidays really just felt like it was just last week. So, um, I'm excited to be recording again. A lot of stuff happened while I've been gone. A lot of stuff happened while I've been gone. So much has happened. We're gonna get into the Chicago Bears lately. Bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down. Um, but between you got the ICE shootings that's been happening, not just one, but it's been a few, a couple. So let me tell you about my trip. Let me tell you a little bit about my trip to the Poconos Mountains in Pennsylvania. It was my first time being there. It was a little bit of a decent time there. I had a good time. Never been in the mountains before. So it was cool. And low key, I wasn't phased by that weather in the mountains. I felt like I feel like it was colder in Chicago yesterday than it was in the mountains. The mountains didn't have as nearly as much wind as in Chicago, so I really didn't feel that cold. I mean, it was cold, but I didn't feel like, damn, it's freezing out here. Even though it was like 17, 18 degrees a lot of them days. So, it was good. It was a decent trip. It was good to get away. Start the new year off that way. Was drunk every day. Yeah, I'm definitely taking a break from liquor, man, because it seemed like since Christmas Eve, I I feel like I drink every day. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited. But the Poconos Mountain trip, it was cool. I enjoyed myself. Shout out to all of them who was on the trip, man. Love y'all. Had a great time. And definitely gotta go back again. To do some more stuff that I kind of seen out there. So I definitely gotta take another trip. Also, I want to shout out this one place that we end up finding out there, man. Is really in the cut, and you don't even really like. I wouldn't even say it's in the cut. It's not in the cut, but it's like you don't even know. You wouldn't even know this place is out here because it don't seem like that type of town. But shout out to Wings and the Prayer, man. Y'all really treated us well. We enjoyed y'all customer service. I also enjoyed the decor in the restaurant. It wasn't a big restaurant, but I enjoyed looking at the decor, looking at the pictures, enjoying the vibe. Like shout out to them two them young kings back in the kitchen and the host and the cashier at the door. They both treated us well, especially because we went twice. So they seen us the second time. They like, oh shit, we we gotta hook y'all up. They hooked us up real well. But shout out to y'all, man. Y'all really like, y'all. The vibe in there is amazing. It's a small restaurant. You know, you could. I think you could dine in, but it's not too big of a place to dine in. So take out is the best way to go. But it was a great. The food was immaculate. The chicken was good. The fried and the food was immaculate. I mean, everything in there looked good, even down to their desserts. It looked good. I didn't get no dessert because really I didn't need it, and I'm trying to get this fat off me. Went to the gym the other day. I ain't got too much fat on me, but the healthy way is to get your fat percentage down and you know and get that extra body fat that you don't need off you. So yeah, that's why I don't need certain desserts right now. Wings and a prayer food was fire, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I gotta go back just because of that other wing place. That's the reason I gotta go back. Just because of that wing place, I gotta go back. And I believe it's black owned. Definitely the people in the restaurant was two young black guys. So and the guy they young, and they got the old school black music on in there, and I love it. I mean, I'm young, so I ain't trying to make it seem like I'm super old, but yeah, like being young and having that vibe in the restaurant, I love it. Wasn't no hip hop music on. Ain't nothing wrong with having hip hop on. Like I love hip hop, but it was like old school soul, old school R&B, stuff like that. I mean, they had some old school hip hop, like they mixed it up, of course, and it's called Wings and a Prayer, so they believe in God, and then the whole vibe of the restaurant, it's about believing in God and trusting in God, and also just being black in America and just really repping um who you are as a person. So I love the restaurant. It was so good. The food was good, and them two guys, they was nice to us. So shout out to y'all, man. I really enjoyed that place. I really wanted to get on here and shout them out, and hopefully, um, I really want to talk some business off camera. They need to expand that restaurant. That's too good of a restaurant to stay in the mountains because most people not gonna go to the mountains. I mean, I know they got a big probably following out there, so they should keep their restaurant out there. But I think they should look to expand that. That's a good restaurant, and it's a positive environment that you can spare, and they hours are reasonable. So yeah, I really like them, and that was probably my favorite part of the trip, going to that restaurant. Like just seeing just looking at the different pictures and looking at the different things and then listening to the music. Like it was good. So I really enjoyed myself. Um, but speaking of chicken, I got a few rest in pieces I want to get out the way, man. So a couple days ago or yesterday, or no, either yesterday or today, whatever. Sad news for the city of Chicago. If you live outside the city of Chicago, you probably know what this restaurant is because it has become the face or one of the faces of food in the city of Chicago. I want to send a rest in peace out to Kristen D. Pierce Sherrod. She passed away at 55. The details of how she passed away is unknown, but regardless of how she passed away, I want to send my condolences and send the rest in peace to her, and send my condolences to her family. Harold's, man. She was the CEO of Harold's Chicken. Her father was the founder, and she took it over once he passed away. And it is so sad to see such a legend in the city of Chicago. She's a legend. She's a legend. If you know anything about Harold's Chicken, man, when you talk about the faces of Chicago, like Harold's is up there with like Giordano's and Portillo's. When you talk about the faces, or even like you can get Chicago hot dogs from anywhere, but Harold's has become a pillar of the food community in Chicago, just like those restaurants. And this is a black-owned restaurant, so it it kind of means more. It means more to me. It means more to us as a city. She's just important to the city of Chicago, and she kept that legend of Harold's Chicken going. And rest in peace to her, man. It is so sad, man. So rest in peace to that family. Condolences. I'm not rest in peace to the family, but condolences to the family. We love Harold's Chicken. We love the legend, and we appreciate her, and hopefully y'all can continue her legacy, not just her legacy, but her father's legacy, the original Harold. Yeah, man. It sad news for the city of Chicago for sure. Um, I also want to send a rest in peace to Claudette Colvin. A lot of people don't know who Claudette Colvin is, and that's fine. And then the reason I say it's fine is because when we were in school, we weren't taught about her. So if you didn't have people who were teaching you these things, or I'm not even gonna say in school, because I'm gonna say my elementary and middle school was probably different from 99% of people's elementary and middle school, because they was teaching us stuff that 99% of schools don't teach. I went to an all black Christian school in city of Chicago. Shout out Oakdale. But Claudette Colvin passed away at the age of 86. She was actually the first person to give up her seat. I mean, not to give up her seat, to refuse to give up her seat. She was the first person. She did it months before Rosa Parks did it. And she was younger than Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks might have been in her 40s when she did it. Claudette Colvin was 15. So she a young thoroughbred, like at the time. She 15, she a teenager. You know how much guts and how much courage. You know how much courage you have to have at 15 in the 50s to not give up your seat to a white person. You have to have balls. You have to have courage to do some shit like that. And she had the courage enough um to stand up for what is right. And she should be a legend in all our books because she's the one who pushed that conversation forward. It was because of our own people that she wasn't the face. And she wasn't the face for a few reasons. She wasn't the face because one, she wasn't married and she was pregnant. Matter of fact, let's switch that around. She was pregnant and she wasn't married. You know, back in the days, even I would say about around like last the 2010s, it's become a little bit uncommon. I mean, not uncommon. It's become more normal for people to be have kids without marriage. But in the 2000s, like early 2010s and before, like 2010, 2011, 2012 and before, you were getting judged if you weren't married and you had kids. Like that's always been a thing. Like it's still a thing that's out there, but it's so much more normal now that people don't really care anymore about you being married and having kids. Like, we live in a world of it's your choice, or if that's what you want to do, we live in that type of world now. And but in the 50s, they didn't want to they didn't want to publicize her as a pioneer because she was pregnant and she was unmarried and she was young. Got real, she pregnant at 15, 16. That's young. That's looked down upon. That's still low key looked down upon. But I could only imagine back then for them to for th- for that to be so looked down upon. It sure was a lot of people back in those days. Like they try to make it seem like teen pregnancy way up. Well, teen pregnancy is actually down now compared to what it was maybe 15, 20 years ago. The 2000s and 90s was crazy for high school teen pregnancy. But let's not get too far off point. They didn't want to publicize her because she was pregnant and unmarried and she was a teenager. And she was also labeled a troublemaker by us, her own people. Well, our ancestors. She was labeled a troublemaker. And she had to withdraw from college. She had to move from Montgomery to New York. I don't think she could finish college. She had to move. She had to live with her sister for a while and move different places. And, that stuff is that's crazy. But there's another theory I have for why she wasn't publicized. I'm going to go ahead and say it's because she was a dark skinned woman and she spoke her mind. The reason they publicized and you got to realize black people back then wanted to cater more towards the white audience. And here's what I mean. Here's what I mean by that. We, because, around the early 1900s, we still kind of fresh off slavery. Slavery low key still going on during these times. That's what they don't tell y'all. But slavery is still low key going on during these times. Like, yeah, you weren't forced to be a slave, but some of these people were sharecroppers. Sharecropper is still practically a slave. That's still practically a slave. And you still had sharecroppers back in the day. So slavery was still kind of going on then, but we fresh off the abolishment of slavery. You know, we going into these times, and it's like during these times, I feel like because we were talked down so much upon why we were slaves, and we were taught that certain things was bad. You know, and you got white people, racist white people back then speaking down on our skin color, making us feel bad for being our skin color. You had some people who wanted to cater towards more of the white audience so that they could be accepted, or they felt like if we catered more towards them, we would be accepted. They'd treat us like we human, which I understand. You gotta understand the mindset back then. I don't judge them because I don't judge our ancestors because that's we didn't have to deal with that. We live in more of a time where we could be a little bit more radical. We could feel how we feel, and we don't give a fuck about how the rest of the world may see us anymore. We live in different times now, and that's because of the groundwork that our ancestors laid. So let's not ever think that we're better or think that we will be stronger because we don't know, and you don't know. When people talk so much down on your skin color, or when um you may not be able to show certain things back in the day, like it's kind of it's kind of easy to be like, yo, chill, let's cater more towards them so we don't continue to get beat or worse, killed. Let's not be rebels. Let's just, you know, follow the code, play the game. It's sort of like, you know, black men in business now, play the game. Or you'll be exiled and you'll lose all your money. That's just how the game go. Sometimes you gotta play that role so that you could get further. Sometimes you do gotta play that role. So I don't judge our ancestors, but we had ancestors where some wanted to cater more towards white people so that we could get equal opportunity. The equal opportunity that they promised us that we low key really never got. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, right? So we living in those times. This is the 1950s, and we're trying to be, like I said, we're trying to cater more towards them so that we can get in the same rooms, fit in with them, whatever. But Claudette was one of those people, like, she didn't give a fuck and she was going against the grain. And a lot of black people didn't like that. A lot of black people didn't like that. That's why she was labeled a troublemaker. But the light skinned black woman, Rosa Parks, she come around, she not labeled a troublemaker. She becomes the face of this movement, even though the dark skinned teenage girl did it earlier. But because like, I don't know if y'all understand, Claudette Colvin was more so, I don't want to say a nigga, because I'm pretty sure people her age or who was around her times probably don't like being called that, because they was probably called that a lot back then. But yeah, Claudette Colvin was like, I don't want to say she the typical hood girl that, like, no, she not that. But she definitely like one of your hood aunties or one of your hood, like a hood mom that might, she ain't necessarily a bad person. She just speak her mind, and she gonna cuss a little bit. And that's what Claudette Colvin was more closer to. Rosa Parks was more of the opposite side of that. She was more like maybe the church going black woman who was kind of quiet, but she didn't, like, even though she refused to give up her seat, she had a calmness about herself that made it easier to make her the face, and she was also married. So it was easier to make her the face than someone who has a story like Claudette Colvin. And I think I read, like, yeah, this the reason she couldn't become the face was because of who she was as a person. who she was as a person was the reason why she wasn't considered the face of this movement, even though she was the first person to do it. And she was younger. And it's not to say that Rosa Parks wasn't brave. I don't want nobody to think I'm saying, oh, you talking down on Rosa Parks, what Rosa Parks did. No, I'm not. I think you needed Rosa Parks to do it too. So other black people can follow suit. So yeah, Claudette Colvin, she set the groundwork, but the message didn't get out there because of who she was. So Rosa Parks did it and went national, and she became the face of it, and she's still the face of it. I guarantee you, a lot of people don't know Claudette Colvin until she just passed away. A lot of people did not know that she was the first black person to refuse to give up her seat. I remember hearing that when I was in junior high, which was like, or yeah, when I was younger, which is like 09, 2010, 2011, 2012. I've been in Black history a long time. So it's a lot of history that I know that a lot of my peers, no matter if they're in Chicago or if they're in other cities, do not know. I been knew Rosa Parks wasn't the first one. She just was the face. And I want to say it was a little bit of colorism. That's part of the but my thing is, I feel like low key Rosa Parks was the same way, cause but it wasn't. She wasn't depicted the same way because she was lighter. Where so Claudette dark skin. So and it still exists today. We don't ever call a light skinned woman the angry black woman. We never call anytime you are labeled the angry black woman, you're always dark or brown or you're brown. You're either dark brown or you're darker than light skin for sure. So yeah, that's the thing. Like it's still a thing. Color is Colorism is more of a thing amongst women, which is crazy to me because if you look back then, like Martin Luther King was the face of civil rights movement and stuff like that, but he was dark skinned. I think Malcolm X was light skinned. Coverage. So it's more so colorism is more so a thing amongst women than it is men. And I think that's unfortunate because more people need to hear about Claudette Colvin. They need to know her bravery too. Like we're so far gone with Rosa Parks. Like Rosa Parks is already the face of the movement already, but Claudette Colvin, she deserved her flowers. She deserves her flowers, and I think she needs to be taught about in more schools. Now I know public schools is a little bit more restricted, but if you a black private school, teach them babies this. That's what we learned. That's what I learned when I was in a black private school. Like learned about stuff you wouldn't have learned about at your average public school, which most people go to an average public school. I mean, it's just common knowledge. Most public schools, not just in Chicago but across the nation, ain't gonna teach you about certain shit. They're gonna teach you what the state or the government wants to teach, and they have to abide by that. Cause public school, I believe they gotta give like curriculum and stuff. They got to do something. So yeah, I mean, I know private school got to do the same thing, but private schools they're private. The government can't control a private school. I mean, they can, but they really can't. As far as what they get taught in school, no. So yeah, but I've been on Claudette Colvin for a minute, so rest in peace to Claudette Colvin. Now I want to get what's been going on with Ice. Oh, hold on, wait. I want to send another before Ice. I want to send the recipes to Guy Moon. A lot of people probably don't know who he is, uh, which is understandable. He passed away at 63 in a car accident. He was the composer of Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron. Johnny Bravo, and more. So we gotta send the recipes in because if you're around my age or a little bit older and you grew up in the prime Nickelodeon era when these shows were out, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, you were at least born in 1990. So if you born in 1990 and after, you know, you most likely grew up on these shows. Yeah, we just gotta send the recipes to him just for being the composer of those shows and composing such legendary cartoons that still exist today, that still get plays today. I mean, Fairly Odd Parents is on all the time on TV, on cable TV. So we got a recipes to him. But let's I want to get into these ice shootings that's been happening, okay? Um Renee Nicole Good, she was she wasn't the first one, right? But she's the one who got the attention first. And if you look at the video, it looks like I looked at it, it looked like she was driving or she was parked and she had got in between or she was trying to get out. And she stopped in between some ICE agents and it looked like she was barking at the ICE agents and doing what the people do. It looked like it was a protest over there because I seen another angle where it was a protester shouting at the ICE agents with one of those little microphone. I forget what they call right now, but it looked like it was a protest out there, and it looked like she was about to leave, but she stopped to bark at the ICE agents, whatever. I guess they told her to pull over, and they tried to get in her car, or they told her to stop, and they tried to get in her car. She tried to turn her wheel, and unfortunately, it looked like you could have interpreted it as her trying to hit the ICE agent. I don't think she was. Um, but that's what you could have interpreted it as because the ICE agent was standing in front of the car, and I just feel like I just feel like yeah, it just shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. I think that's an unfortunate situation. Um, don't know what to make of it. Obviously it was wrong because as a police officer, I don't think you're taught to um shoot at a moving car, or at least if you're gonna shoot, you shoot at the wheel. You're not supposed to shoot at the person because if a dead person is behind the wheel or an unconscious person is behind the wheel, they can hit someone else. And I don't think that ICE agent really thought, but when I looked at the video, it looked like he already had his gun in his hand. He couldn't wait to shoot. It seemed like he was trigger happy. They put his name out there, so you could definitely find his name. But it's very unfortunate because I don't think she deserved that. Um, and it's crazy because Renee Nicole Good was a white woman. But it's not crazy in the same breath. I don't feel like anybody should be killed. So I just think it's just so unfortunate. Um, And rest in peace to her. I know she had, I forgot how many kids she had, but it's just so unfortunate. And for me, it just feels like now ICE agents, they're kind of starting this thing of antagonizing the people so that they have a reason to finally shoot and kill. And really, it's a civil war on the street. So it's unfortunate. I got so many more topics. But let's go to the other ICE shooting. Keith Porter Jr. Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to both of these people. Um, by the way, and also on the Renee Nicole Good situation. Um, it says that it was reported that Hilton removed the Minneapolis hotel that refused to um serve as immigration officials from its system. They removed them. It is also communicating with other franchises to help ensure this does not happen again. So black people or people period, not even black people. I don't even want to say black people. People period. People period. Because Renee Nicole Good wasn't a black woman, and even some of the people out there protesting in Minnesota, they were not all black. They were. I seen some white people out there. Watch who you staying with when it comes to these hotels. These hotels don't fuck with you. Clearly, they favor the government. They favor what's going on. They favor ICE more than they favor the people. So watch who you staying with. I probably won't spend my money with Hilton again just because of this. There's other hotels. Um, you don't have to stay with them, but yeah, I just found that interesting. And also, I want to send the recipes to Keith Porter Jr. The story that didn't get no national news until recently, after people on social media made an uproar about it. Um, Keith Porter Jr. was killed on. It's not confirmed when he was killed. He was either killed on New Year's Eve or he was killed on New Year's Day, like like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning type. And I finally read why he was killed. Most people during New Year's, 4th of July, Juneteenth, black people, and any other holiday that does fireworks, they usually shoot, gunshots in the air. And apparently, our good brother Keith was shooting gunshots in the air, celebrating New Year's, just like other people do. And off-duty ICE agent shot and killed him. And it makes me sad because it's like, damn, you could be doing normal things, that normally always happens. And you got this motherfucker over here who want to police everything and who want to tell you you can't do that or you shouldn't be doing that or whatever the case may be. But I read that's why he was killed, and that's so unfortunate because okay, cool, he's shooting gunshots in the air. They were shooting gunshots by my house. I live in the city of Chicago my whole life, so I understand on 4th of July and New Year's, this is just what people do. They're gonna do it. And for him to be like that is the only way he could respond was to shoot and kill him was bullshit. And we don't know who the ICE agent was, but hopefully he gets dealt with. I doubt he will because they won't ICE agent. Like really, ICE agents have become martial law and they could do whatever the fuck they want and not get charged for it. And it's very unfortunate that we living in a country like this right now, man. Because 10 or so years ago, it wasn't like that. But now you got a motherfucking office who want to impose his power and be in control of everything. So now you're just subjected to you're just subjected to this. Um it's very unfortunate. I don't know a whole lot of details about the case, but or about this period. I will be following both of these incidents going forward. So you will hear me talking about this a lot. Y'all should know I really don't fuck with ICE. Because they came to the city of Chicago and they was doing fuck shit, but they've been doing fuck shit. And I feel like the whole immigration control thing is out of control. I mean, I feel like, yeah, the immigration thing is just bullshit. So certain immigrants can come over here, right? Your buddy Elon Musk can be over here, right? But he not, or because he got a visa, technically, whatever. The motherfucker is still from South Africa, but you ain't quick to send him back. Or how about the talking head that you got now that's been talking for you? Technically, she's not a U.S. citizen. She's a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. But you're not gonna send her back, right? She's Nicki Minaj is an immigrant. She's from Trinidad. She never got her U.S. citizenship, and she been speaking down on immigrants and speaking down on, man. I don't fuck with Nicki Minaj no more. You know, her music will always be her music, but her as a person, never. And I probably would never go out for a concert of hers either, cause she been talking crazy, especially she been talking down about like uh the LGBTQ community. She been talking down on them, and that's majority of your fan base. How you gonna speak down on them? So it's very unfortunate watching some of this stuff go on. But speaking of immigrant and immigration, I don't know if y'all seen the Christy Rome immigration commercial. It was nasty to watch, and it was on YouTube. It was nasty to watch, and I accidentally skipped it. Um, accidentally skipped it. I wasn't trying to skip it. I wanted to watch the whole thing because I really wanted to know. This is really y'all have a commercial about this? Immigration is that serious? Like my thing is, G, majority of the country is immigrants. I'm I'm not an immigrant technically. Okay, how about this? Let's put it like this. Majority of our ancestors are immigrants. Now, it's a difference. We were forced over here. We didn't say, "Oh, let's travel to America and or let's travel to a different land and settle there and make a new population." We didn't do that. Millions of Africans were forced over here, which is why we're over here. So technically, my ancestors are forced immigrants, and we kind of built America up. So yeah, we're gonna stay here. But a lot of white people are immigrants too. Actually, all white people ancestors are immigrants. Y'all are immigrants. Y'all didn't come from here. Y'all came from y'all came from Europe and shit. Acting like y'all like just because you we've been in America for hundreds of years now, this is our land. No, we're all immigrants. Okay, hold on. Ooh, we're all immigrants, bro. Ain't one person here that is a or one person who ancestor is from. I mean, it is like you got Native American. they done, the white people done put them off somewhere. They in like concentration camps somewhere. Well, I don't want to call them concentration camps, but they in like I know it's a lot of them in like Washington for sure, not Washington D.C., but Washington State. Like I know they got like a little thing up there somewhere. Um, but yeah, y'all committed genocide to get this land. Y'all didn't. This is not your land. You're not native to this land. So when y'all do that immigration control shit, it really baffles me. It baffles me. Um, yeah, 2026, man. We finna get into a lot of shit. What else we got here? What else we got here? Oh, I want I didn't send a rest in peace to her, but we had a Chicago teacher named Linda Brown. She had went missing like I'm gonna say last week or earlier this week. The public initially, when I say the public, I mean a lot of women they initially blamed the husband, but it was confirmed that she did indeed drive to the Chicago lakefront and walk towards the water. Um, and most people are probably thinking she killed herself for sure. I'm thinking she did. If she was walking towards the water, she either jumped in or she drowned herself. She did something. But we think a lot of us think she killed herself, and it's very unfortunate. That the public blamed her husband first. Everybody grieved differently. Everybody not gonna be boohoo crying. Everybody not gonna be doing the most. Some people just handle it differently. And for y'all to blame him while he already going through it, losing his wife, it's kind of crazy. But I'm gonna keep my eye on that because it could be presumed that she killed herself, and then he could have actually did something. Who knows? We don't know. But I'm not gonna put that out there. You know what I'm saying? If there's no evidence pointing to that he did it, I'm not gonna just claim that he did it. You know what I'm saying? But I did watch I was watching a show. Well, it was on YouTube, but it was a show they put on YouTube. I watched a couple of them. The one about my man's Lorenzen Wright, not my man's, but he was an NBA player. And at first, they thought it was a cold case until information came out. That the wife and she co-conspirated with the guy she was fucking at the time, and I want to say he either got life or he got like 40 years or 50 years. It don't matter. That's life for him because Buddy was like in his 40s or 50s. And with that jail fool, you most likely ain't gonna be alive for 40 more years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's life for him. But the wife only got like 5 years or some shit. That shit was crazy to me. No, the wife got like 10. No, she got like 30. The wife got 30, but she only got to serve like 10 of them motherfuckers, and then she could possibly get out. So yeah, I was watching one of them shows, and the other one, the husband clearly did it. I don't even. That wasn't even. He clearly did it. But yeah, it was crazy. So rest in peace to her. What I got on here? What else I got on here? Let's talk about the Drewski skit, the new skit he put out, the church skit. How the pastors be. That got some controversy, according to people. That got some controversy for sure, and a lot of people think he made a skit about how mega pastors are and how they love money, and a lot of I know some people gonna take it as he's making fun of God, he's making fun of church, woo woo woo. But if you really, I grew up in church, um, and there are a lot of money hungry pastors. I'm gonna call it how I see it. Now, I'm not talking about the pastors of like regular churches or normal churches. We talking about these mega churches, these big ass churches like Eddie Long, who we know what he was into, but we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. Or what we just seen Marvin Winans do, or what we just seen Marvin Sapp just do. We talking about them pastors. And what he did in that skit was not a lie at all. I'm pretty sure everybody who's gonna watch this already seen it, so it wasn't a lie. As someone who grew up in church, it was not a lie. A lot of you pastors out here really got the game fucked up. You know, giving people false hope or trying to get people to donate a certain amount of money. And to somebody like Marvin Sapp, like I'm really disappointed because I grew up on your music. I grew up on your music. You know what I'm saying? I don't only just listen to R&B, rap, soul, um, and stuff like that. I listen to gospel. Look, I grew up singing in the church. I grew up traveling to sing. Well, I didn't sing in the church. Technically, we were a recording group. We were recording artists. We were artists. And we toured for this shit. We went to Sweden, New York, Minnesota, Iowa, we Detroit, you name it. And we got an album. So you're not talking about somebody who hasn't done this. I sung in church sometimes. Like I grew up singing. And for Marvin Sapp to say close the doors like that, demand that the doors be closed like that. Or I seen Marvin Winans do something a while ago. I forgot what he did, but that Marvin Sapp shit, that really made me mad. Cause it's like, damn, you forcing people to donate a certain amount of money just so they can leave? That don't sound like that don't sound godlike. That sound like you holding people hostage. And I was so disappointed to see that video. And I haven't been a consistent churchgoer for the past like 8 years now. I haven't. I'm not gonna say a lie to you. I haven't. I did love singing, but I just think sometimes you don't need to go to church to believe in God or have a relationship with God or anything. I feel like I did enough in my early years to be like, well, I know God. I went to a private school. I went to church every Sunday. Learned about the Bible. Learned about God. I sang all over the world. Well, not all over the world, but you get what I'm saying. We actually toured, and I feel like I don't have to go to church consistently to have a relationship with God. Now, that's my business if I want to go to church. But in the same breath, church gotta change in some aspect. It gotta change. Um, Forcing people to give or and I know that's more the popular churches that we see go viral online, but it's nasty. And that will turn people away from church. We need to get back to preaching the word but not preaching to the word where you're down talking people, but preaching the word where you're uplifting people and helping people understand the word more so they can better their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I think a lot of churches now, especially now, but I mean back then, like these churches got the game fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I've been to some mega churches and they were huge and like as a kid you be like, damn, it's a big ass church and you fuck with it, but when you get older you realize like, damn, y'all sitting on millions of dollars while your congregation struggling or the community around you struggling. The church is supposed to be for the people, not for your pockets. And unironically, I don't know if Drewski used the soundstage, if he used someone's actual mega church. But if you use someone's mega church, that shows that y'all will do anything for money. You know what I'm saying? So Drewski's skit was not it was not making fun of God. It was making fun of you preachers who are money hungry. That's what that's what the whole skit was about. Cause it is a lot of preachers out here like that. And I want to speak to the people who think every church is like. Not every church is like that. I've been to plenty of churches. Not every church is like that. Hell, it's not a lot of mega churches anyway. It's more medium sized churches than anything. Standard sized churches, and then you got your ones in the hood that may be small, small. So I just think, yeah, not every church is like that, and you shouldn't think every church is like that. But there are a lot of them that are, unfortunately. Just like that dude, Buddy, who spit in his hand and wiped it on one of the church members' face. Boy, I would have slapped the shit out of him on that stage. Don't you ever, don't spit in your hand and wipe it on my face to preach and prove no fucking message. Have you lost your mind? You spit on your hand. I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got, shorty. Not even that. Like, I mean, yeah, that. Like, that's how shit spread. You could be sick. You could have HIV. You I mean, and I don't want to be insensitive either, but yeah, that's how you give people shit. Don't spit in your hand, buddy. But buddy allowed whoever was on stage, they allowed it. Not I. I would have slapped the fuck out of him. Don't you wipe no spit on my face. No, I'm cool. You could preach your message without spitting in your hand. You could have got a water bottle and did that. Why you gotta spit in your hand and prove a message? Yeah, I think that dude is definitely one of them pastors that Drewski was talking about. He definitely one of them. For sure, one of them. I know he is. But yeah, the Drewski skit was amazing. It was hilarious. One of the most hilarious I've seen. I just be wondering, how did he get people to agree? Like, how you get people to agree to do this shit? I'd be so taken aback. But yeah, Drewski is a legend for sure. He funny as hell. He gotta do one about the other group next, but people gonna be scared to do them because they sensitive. So anyway, um, I got one more. I think I got one more, a couple more topics. I wanna get on. No new music that I've been following lately. I actually haven't listened to no new music yet in 2026. So I know I seen like Tim's drop some stuff. Who else just dropped? Somebody else dropped that I can't even think of their name right now because I didn't listen to it and I wanted to, and now I can't find their project on here. Mm, oh, it is about to be. Oh, Wiz Khalifa dropped. Okay, Young Boy dropped again. When does he? When does he not drop? Um, yeah, it ain't really been like ain't been no super heavy thing going on. Streamers, streamers Tylil and Aiden Ross, complain they haven't been making enough on stream lately. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but they complained and they said they was only making. I think Tylil said he only made 500K on one stream, and then Aiden Ross said he made like 700K on one stream, and personally to me, they sound like hoes. You made 500 to 700K on one stream and y'all sitting there complaining and people can't make 500 to 700K in a year? This is what I be talking about. People get money and don't realize like, bro, it's people in a way more fucked up situation than you're in. 500K for one stream can last you the whole year. You don't see. I realize what a lot of people do when they get money. They want to be in all the circles. They want to keep up with the Joneses. They want to do everything they see everybody else doing. And cool, I understand you've been around real ballers, but 700K, 500K, that's good money. And you don't need to live and keep up with the Joneses. Y'all making that off one stream? One? Like they didn't say for the year. They said they thought about being done because of one stream, which is crazy. I don't even watch streamers. That's not my era. I don't find it enjoyable to sit there and watch people do what I can do at home or really not even informative. Like the only ones I really watch, and I didn't even watch it. I watched like the replay and clips of it on YouTube was the Drewski, Kai, and Kevin Hart. Cause those are like real comedians, and I'm pretty sure they putting on a show. Whereas some of these other people, they streaming their whole lives all day doing goofy shit. I don't even know how people sit down and watch that all day. How? Like I can see if they playing video games or if they doing some real fun shit. Like I don't mind watching the stream for like an hour or two, but they be doing streams that last like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. That's a long time. So Sinet also put out a video. He said he wanted to. I don't know if he wanted to quit or retire from streaming and go into fashion. If I'm Kai Sinet, um, I wouldn't completely retire from streaming. Fashion is very hard to get into, and your clothes got to be like that to even make money. Just because you Kai Sinet don't mean you finna go into this other realm and kill it. That ain't how it work. And you gotta come with it. You gotta come with it. You gotta have designs. You gotta have the quality. And then you can't just because you casting that you gonna charge $100 for your shirt. So charge $200 for your set, whatever. Your prices gotta be reasonable for your real fans to buy shit. Can't just and that's what a lot of these rich people do. They cater to rich folk. That ain't how you stay rich. I'm gonna keep it unless you Gucci or you one of them who been around for a long time and they started off kind of look. You can't start off like. I'm not saying that your stuff ain't worth that much, but yeah, I feel like he gonna hike up the prices because he casting that and he want to make money. But I don't think he should completely retire. I think you need to slowly do that. If I was him, I probably wouldn't even have announced that. Sometimes you just gotta work in silence until it's about to come into fruition. I think I wouldn't have put that out. Me personally, I wouldn't have put that out there. But that's what he want to do. That's what he want to do. And I hope that fashion is a success for him because he was so influential in the streaming world. I feel like he should have. I don't want to say stayed there because I feel like you always want to grow. But I feel like he definitely probably should have stayed in that realm to me. Um, all right, I'm almost done. Javante Davis arrested after he's not arrested, but Miami Garden police issue warrant for his arrest after accused of grabbing a woman by her head and throat and then dragging her out of the gentleman's club. Video footage confirms the victim's claim. I don't know what it is with him and beating women, but you know, I don't I don't condone putting hands on women. You're a boxer. You're a professional boxer. You don't need to hit no woman. You literally probably will fuck any woman up. You would probably fuck any man up who's not a boxer. So yeah, you gotta learn to quit putting your hands on women, man. For real. There's nothing more to say to that than just quit putting your hands on women and you wouldn't be in this fucking position. If a girl ain't trying to, if a woman ain't trying to do what you saying or whatever, or she doing something that you don't like, leave the bitch alone. You Javante Davis, bro. You can get any girl you want. You get any woman you want. You ain't gotta put your hands on a woman or grab her by the throat and the head. You just doing too much. So now you deserve to get arrested. You deserve to sit down for a little bit if they want to sit you down. Now they might just put you on probation until you can't do this or do that. But if you get jail time, you deserve that. Cause why you keep putting your hands on women and doing it violently? Chill. One more thing I wanted to get to, something that's kind of fun that popped up on my thing. Um, L.A. Walk of Fame is labeled the worst tourist destination spot, and I'm gonna back it up and say they're not wrong. It is, and the same reasons for why I'm finna say why it's a bad destination spot is the same reason they gave for why it is. The LA Walk of Fame is dirty. I never expected it to be that fucking dirty over there. When I went to LA, I thought the Walk of Fame was somewhere nice and somewhere, it's clean. I didn't know it was literally on the street. And then it be, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm talking down, but it's so many drug addicts and homeless people in that area, laying in that area, and it's dirty over there. Like when I first went to LA, I'm like, damn, there's no way LA is this dirty. And it's not just the Walk of Fame area. It's the downtown LA. It's a lot of places in LA that's super fucking dirty. Like they just as nasty as New York and Paris. Like Chicago is probably not, I'm not saying this because I'm from Chicago, but Chicago is probably the only big city that I've ever been in that's actually clean in where tourists is gonna be. There's no way Times Square in New York should be as fucking dirty as it is. The Walk of Fame in downtown LA and downtown LA should not be that fucking dirty. Paris, for the life of me, it should not be that dirty. Y'all get too much money. What are y'all doing? Why is the why is where people staying so dirty? New York, why do you have garbage right outside of this forest? this nice hotel, this four-season hotel, you got garbage right out in the front. Or any hotel for that matter. It don't gotta just be a 5 star. It could be a 3.5 star or 4 star. Or a 2 star, 1 star. Nobody want no fucking garbage in front of their door when they walk out. So yeah, the big cities gotta get it together. Chicago, we got our own stuff, but cleanliness is one thing we don't have to worry about over here. Um, thank y'all for joining this lovely broadcast. I enjoyed doing this for you all. I enjoyed being back. I enjoyed recording again. I gotta get back in the groove. I'm not in the groove yet. I feel like I kind of fell off a little bit. Um, but yeah, man, it's gonna be more to show, man. No more inconsistencies. I'm back, man. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back, and I can't wait. Um, I got more in store. Like I said, I'm gonna have guests speak. I'm gonna have guests coming on soon. I'm gonna have people on here soon. So, yeah, man. I enjoyed this. Thank you all. Um, oh, bear down, man. Let's go Bears, man. Let's go. We play the Rams on Sunday. I can't wait for the game because I feel like we're gonna get the W. Um, I really do. Cause the Rams used to play in LA. LA and Chicago. And Chicago's gonna be like 8 degrees on Sunday. So I can't wait. I'm happy. Let's go Bears, bear down. Caleb Williams, that's our superstar. And yeah, man. Peace.